Hey guys, James Graham here from Double J's Bowling Supply. We're on the lanes here on AMF College Lanes here in Overland Park, Kansas. And today we're going to talk about the lane, 60 feet long. What we're going to talk about specifically is the oil pattern of the lane. So typically a bowling lane, it's, you can see here 40 boards. There's so many arrows in the lane. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of give you an in-depth look here at the lane and kind of talk about it. And basically talk about what's an oil pattern. So what we're going to do here is show you kind of the lane here. There's oil on this lane, and it goes from side to side here at AMF College Lanes. And we're going to show you kind of where it goes to. Here we typically go about 40, 41 feet, sometimes 42 feet. As we keep going down the lane, you can kind of see it's starting to look like it's getting dry. And looks like it's still got some oil here. It's about right here. This is about where the oil stops. I can kind of feel it a little bit, but basically what a typical house shot is, it's anywhere from that 40-foot range for most of your bowling houses anywhere in the United States. And what they do is they oil kind of like a Christmas tree. So there's not really a lot of oil at the gutters. But then when you go on the lane, it kind of gets heavier in the middle. So what we're going to do is kind of show you how there's a lot of oil here and not so much on the outsides of the lanes. So what that allows you to do is when you throw your bowling ball down the lane, you kind of want to get it in that 31 range. And what I mean by that is you take the pattern and you go minus 31. So typically if your bowling center oil is a 42-foot pattern, typical house shot, and you minus 31. So you want to be right around that second arrow, 11 board. So what we're looking at here is the arrows we're going down. So 42 minus 31, 31 is the Kegel rule. And what it is 31 feet's about right there. So you want that ball, when you let it go, to be right about at the 11 board. So right inside second arrow. And that'll usually get you to the pocket. So when we're talking about bowling on a typical house shot, I look at the bowling lane like the ocean. The shallow parts of the gutters, there's not a whole lot of oil here from the gutter this way or the gutter that way, left to right. And there's more oil once you go in the middle of the lane. So that's the deepest part of the ocean. So you kind of want to stay away from that deep part. You kind of want to play the outsides. You want to be around the shallow areas. Now once the oil typically starts to break down later on down the lane down there, you want to typically start to move left for a right-handed bowler. Or your next move might be not use a strong ball and kind of use a weaker ball and ball down. So the biggest thing is when you're bowling throughout the night, it's watching and seeing what your ball does when it enters and exits the pin deck. If it's hitting a lot of force when it is hitting that one pin, that's pretty good. And if it's driving through and really continuing, that's really good. But if you see it start to be lazy and start to exit around the 6 pin, the 9 pin, that means the ball is using too much energy. Maybe you've moved so far left and you're in that deep part of the ocean. You're in where the oil is. So what happens is typically that oil, it's making your ball use a little bit more energy. So when your ball enters the pin deck, it's not hitting you with enough force. Therefore, it's going to leave usually a lot of corner pins. Right-handed bowlers, a lot of 10 pins, sometimes 7 10s. You're really not going to get that hard pocket hit. So remember, when you're out there bowling, take a look at your house shot. Maybe it's 39, 40, 41, 42 feet, and use that minus 31 reference. So if it's minus 31 on a 42-foot pattern, you're looking at 11. That's going to be where you want to lay the ball down to help you get to the pocket. And remember, these are always changing. Lane patterns are going to be different no matter what you're bowling on. If it's a typical house shot, you're bowling on a PBA pattern or sports shot pattern or recreational sports shot pattern. There's all different kinds. There's all different types. You're going to look at distance, how far the oil is going down the lane, how much volume they're using, how many milliliters of oil they're using on the lane. So those are going to tell you really where the oil is displaced on the lane. If you see a graph on a lane and you see it heavier here, that means there's going to be more oil in the front part of the lane. If it's heavier towards the back and not so heavy here, that means there's going to be a lot harder down lane, so you got to make sure your targeting is a lot better. So use that minus 31 rule from Kegel that they instituted a while ago, and that way it can kind of help you determine where to start when you get on the lane and when you go out to bowl, and hopefully that can help you get a lot higher scores and potentially get you to that 300 game. So if you need any questions or need any answers have any questions or need some answers when it comes to lanes and looking at lane graphs and looking at lane patterns, come talk to me here at Double J's Bull and Supply inside AMF College Lanes. Other than that, James Graham signing off. Good luck on the lanes out there, guys. Have a great summer. Take care.